Okay, our next step here, we have the head, the hat, and a mitten. And we are going to make our second mitten. So take the rest of your paper, we put the mitten down, and we're going to trace this mitten. Let's do that together. And then we will cut it out. So lay it on an edge. Can you see that? And we're going to trace this mitten and cut it out. Oops. So everybody, we can do this together at the same time. Trace your mitten and then cut it out. Okay. And this side of our mitten has a straight edge because it'll go on the bottom of the artwork. So keep that edge straight. Now you'll see that I have a left and a right mitten. Okay, so if you imagine that you're putting your hands up to your face with the palms next to your face, your thumbs point outward. So that's how we're going to create our artwork the same way. So the thumbs are going to point outward. But that will happen when we get to that next step. But for now, we have all 4 of these pieces and we're going to draw our head, or the face. So I have already gone ahead and done that, and I will show you. Can you see here? So essentially what we want to do is we want to start with drawing the eyes, okay? And the eyes are kind of like an almond shape, right? They're not complete circles on the outside. They're like this almond or football shape. And then everyone can draw that while I'm talking. So you'll notice also the spacing and the position. So eyes go about at the top of your ears is where our eyes go on our face. So look at the top of your ears. That's usually where you put your eyes. And then when you're spacing them, think about 1 eye distance in between the 2 eyes. So that's kind of the spacing. So everybody draw the 2 kind of almond football shapes of your eyes. Then you're going to draw your eyebrows above your eyes, okay? And eyebrows usually have like an arcing shape. Some people's eyebrows are a little bigger than others, so draw those. And then for the nose, noses are a little bit longer than people think. And the structure of the nose comes from up by the eyebrow. So here, what I've chosen to do is I've drawn a shadow line on the one side of my nose. I've drawn the bottom of my nose and then a little bit of a dash on either side to show where my nostrils are. So everybody can draw their nose. And then for the lips that go next, I usually start in the middle and I draw a soft V shape here. And I always like to have a smile on, so you can draw yourself smiling if you're happy like me. So that's the face. And now we'll fill in the eyes. So I wanted to describe the eyes. So just on a scratch piece of paper, I'll demonstrate the eyes. So eyes, again, you have like this. Here's one eye, this kind of almond shape. And inside the eye, we have our iris. And the iris is a circle or an ellipse, but a lot of it is hidden underneath our top and our bottom eyelid. So we draw the iris with these two kind of C's, okay? If someone is super duper excited, you rarely see this kind of excitement. You might see the entire iris and it's like, oh my gosh, I can't believe it, I'm so excited. You'll see the whole iris. But most people, most of the time, you see just a little bit of it. And then in the center here is the black pupil. So of course on the top you can draw some eyelashes if you want to. Eyelashes can be just on the side, a little bit on the top and bottom. You can decide how you want to draw your eyes. You can draw some more eyelashes across the top and maybe just a few on the bottom. It's up to you. Okay? So I will draw in, well, you can do this while I'm doing it. I'm going to draw in my irises here. So again, it's kind of like a C shape and then a backward C. Kind of similar to what we did with the ears. A C shape and a backward C. And then your pupils. So we can all be doing this together. If you have really tiny pupils, it means it's bright light. And then we have some eyelashes if you want to show those. Of course, we always have eyelashes, but if you want to show it in your artwork, you can. Okay, so once our face is complete, then we can outline everything in marker. So you take your marker and just trace your lines. So if you want to do that now, and think about this marker. So I haven't used this marker yet. I'm just going to test it over here. Okay, look at that. I did a really thick line. And then, this is just a test. See, with this one marker, I got a very thick line and I got a thinner line, and that's fun to play with and kind of apply that thinking when you do the tracing of your face here. So for example, I might want to do that on my eyes. I might want to do a little bit thicker line here and here, and then I'm lifting my marker so it's a little bit more straight up and down, and I'm doing a little bit thinner line here. Okay, same here. I'm going to do a little bit thinner line for the iris, and you just go along and keep tracing your line. So let's do that together. And for the eyebrows, I'm going to do a little bit of a texture line, so everybody can be doing this together at the same time. So again, thicker line here, so I'm kind of using the side, and then I want a little bit thinner line here. Okay, now I'm going for my nose. And for the nostrils, I'm going to do a thinner line. For the top of my lip, I did a thick line. For the middle, I'm not even going to trace that whole line. And then I'm going to do a thinner line underneath there. Okay, and then for my hair, I'm pretty sure I'm not going to see any of this because it's going to be underneath my hat. But I'm going to trace my hairline. Okay, and then I'm going to trace the sides of my, I'm gonna go along the edge here, which is kind of a little tricky. You can do this again with like having it at a lower angle. Trace the edge. And you can trace the edge of your ear here too. Do a little mark inside the ears. And this line also is traced. Okay, so there's your face. And when you're done with that, we'll go on to patterns in our hat and our mittens. So depending where you're at, you can pause if you need to. But if not, we'll go right into our hat and our mittens. So again, think about when you're arranging these, see how my thumbs are pointing to the outside, okay? And you have your hat here, how you want it positioned on your artwork. Decide if you want it, which way you want it. And think about a fun hat and mitten pattern. So with your oil pastels, choose any colors you want to, and you can decorate your hat and your mittens with pastel. Now we're only doing a pattern, and we're going to go over these with watercolor paints. So we want to make sure that we're not filling in huge areas of our hat and mittens with oil pastel. We're only doing a light pattern. Okay, so think about maybe, again, doing math here, like think about 40% or 50% of these pieces will be covered with any type of oil pastel. So get out these pieces and then you can start decorating with a pattern. So for me, I'm gonna start with purple, and I'm gonna do like a little bit of a pattern like this. And again, this is like your choice of whatever kind of pattern you want to do. So whatever I do on my left, I'm going to do on the right. So while you have the same color in your hand, make sure you do the left and the right so you have a matching pair. And then I'm going to do a little bit of purple on this cuff here. I did a little cuff on my mittens. So again, we can all be doing this at the same time. So next I'm gonna do a green, and I'm gonna do some dots with my green. Again, my left and right side are gonna match. And I'm gonna add one more color to this. Let's see, I'm gonna do this peach color, and I'm gonna do a fun little thick stripe that comes up the thumb, like that. And I'm matching it left and right. Okay, I feel like the top, actually I'm going to extend this over a little bit. Okay, and then I feel like the top of my mitten, I'm going to do a little something there. I'm going to add some more of these kind of polka dots up there. Okay, so again, see, I'm not filling in big chunks of area. And now I'm going to have a hat that matches some of this design. So this hat is going to have, let's see, what do I want to do here? I'm going to take this same color scheme. So I'm going to do this peach, and this is going to be like kind of a rib knit that goes along the edge here. Then I'm going to kind of repeat this purple element. And my hat is going to have a lot of fun polka dots in it. Again, you come up with your own fun design here. And then for my pom-pom, let's see. I think, what color do I want to do? I think I'm going to bring in a white. And you might think, gosh, why is she doing white on top of white? You can't see it. But when we do the watercolor, you'll be able to see this. So for my pom-pom, I'm just creating, oh, and there's a little bit of another color in here. That. Okay, so there I have my decoration. So if everyone wants to finish up that, and then we'll get this large piece of paper and go to the next step.